Arne Slot faces major Hugo Ekitike decision as Liverpool consider defensive overhaul. Liverpool were on the receiving end of late drama this time when they were beaten 2-1 at Crystal Palace on Saturday afternoon in the Premier League. Ismaila Sarr put the Londoners ahead early on, and although substitute Federico Chiesa equalised in the 87th minute, Ekitike notched deep into an elongated additional period to send the Reds tumbling to their first top-flight loss of the campaign. Arne Slot's side now face another major test of their Champions League credentials when they travel to Turkey to take on Galatasaray on Tuesday evening. And here we look ahead to the changes Slot could make when his team are next in action. Kanate concern. There has been plentiful rotation from Slot in recent weeks, and that is likely to continue again as Liverpool prepare for a second of 3 away games inside 8 days. Right back has proven something of a problem position, with neither Connor Bradley nor Jeremy Frimpong having properly staked a claim for a regular start. Dominik Szoboszlai has arguably been the best in the role this campaign when playing out of position, while Joe Gomez is another option. Gomez is also an alternative at centre-back, with Ibrahima Kanate having struggled at Palace alongside skipper Virgil van Dijk. Wataru Endo could also feature in defence over the coming months, with Giovanni Leone now out for the season. At left-back, Milos Kerkez has edged ahead of Andy Robertson once more, although the latter has started Liverpool's 2 midweek games so far this campaign, including when scoring in the Champions League opener against Atletico Madrid. Alisson Becker demonstrated against Palace why he is the world's best goalkeeper, with Georgi Mamardashvili ahead of Freddie Woodman as the Brazilian's deputy. Wirtz decision. Slot attempted a different midfield approach at the weekend, with Florian Wirtz operating in a free role before returning to his recognized number 10 position after halftime. It seems unlikely the Liverpool boss will veer from his regular 4-2-3-1 in Istanbul. But Wirtz will be under pressure from both Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones for a start, although he impressed against Atletico a fortnight ago. Szoboszlai, Jones and Endo are also alternatives to Alexis Mac Allister alongside Ryan Gravenberch at the base of the midfield, with the Argentina international still struggling to regain full sharpness after injury. Teenager Trey Nyoni started the League Cup win over Southampton last midweek and is likely to be among the substitutes. Gakpo back? With Hugo Ekitike back from suspension and Federico Chiesa now part of the Champions League squad, Slot has a decision to make over who leads the attack, with Alexander Isak having got through 84 minutes on Saturday. Chiesa is also an alternative to Mohamed Salah on the right after the Egyptian had a rare shocker against Palace. Premier League, 10 talking points from the weekend's action. 1. Tides change for Arsenal on Tyneside. St James Park has done strange things to Arsenal. It had become Mikel Arteta's bogey ground, defeats the last 3 visits, his team unable to score. Each time, bright beginnings had given way to becoming bogged down by refereeing controversy. Arsenal pulled into the rolling mole football that better suits Newcastle's muscle. Sunday's attacking team selection and Arteta throwing the kitchen sink and chasing a win when a point had already been rescued hinted at a change in mentality. Arteta's team eventually wrested control of the physical battle to push for 3. If the dimensions that Eberechi and Victor Gyökeres have added failed to pay off, the Premier League's deepest squad found the aerial power within itself, via Arteta's attacking substitutions. An early overturned penalty and missed chances felt all too familiar. Arsenal's response to those reverses, overturning their St James mental block, suggested a fresh determination that will serve them well in the title hunt. John Brewin. 2. King shines brightly again for Fulham. Josh King's previous trip to Birmingham was a 7-1 defeat at St Andrews in the EFL Trophy, with Fulham's under-21s approaching 12 months ago while he again tasted defeat, this time at Villa Park. His performance was the overriding promising takeaway for Marco Silva's side. Almost all of Fulham's positive play went through the 18-year-old midfielder, again preferred to Emile Smith-Rowe, a £27 million signing last year, or the experience of Tom Cairney and Harrison Reed. King, who joined his boyhood club aged 8, made his Premier League debut last December but has evolved into a regular starter this campaign. His disallowed goal at Chelsea did not stop Fulham from making it their August goal of the month. Against Aston Villa he was the game's outstanding player until the hosts roused. No wonder Fulham signed him to a new 4-year deal in July. Ben Fisher. 3. KO'd launches Brentford to victory. Long throws aren't just back, baby, they're bigger than ever, and Brentford's Michael Keough is surely the best ballslinger in the league. His first after 3 minutes against Manchester United was a jaw-dropper, hard and flat and howling like a V2 rocket to the goal line. His second was like Julian Dix smashing a penalty towards the top corner, while simultaneously being fired out of a cannon. It almost went straight in. Watching KO do this off both touchlines, you waited to see if his later throws would lose energy. They didn't. Can he maintain his speeds? Come back for a third spell? Should we manage his workload? It isn't hard to see why this has happened. There is so little coaching time now. More complex attacking patterns take longer. Get it launched. Two things occur: will we see players signed now on the strength of their throws in a data-driven game? And why did Manchester United look so surprised by this, Ruben Amorim so offended by the use of a highly telegraphed tactic? Apart from the obvious reasons. Barney Ronay. 4. Palace investment in Ekitike pays off late. As Arsenal supporters will no doubt have noted as they celebrated Liverpool's demise on Saturday evening, the coup de grace being delivered by one of their academy graduates made Crystal Palace's victory taste even sweeter. Broccoli-born Eddie Ekitike has been forced to play second fiddle to the immense Jean-Philippe Mateta since he moved south of the river last year, and he missed the first month of the new season after suffering a hamstring injury. Having returned in style against Liverpool, the striker should get plenty of opportunities this season with Palace to begin their Conference League campaign on Thursday against Dynamo Kiev. One of our slogans is, if you invest, you get something back. It's one of the credences in my life, said the Palace manager Oliver Glasner. Eddie is investing so much and he got the reward with the match winner in front of our fans. Ed Aarons. 5. Welbeck offers focal point for Brighton. Brighton looked toothless for long spells against Chelsea. Jorginho Rutter can be a clever attacker, but he was ineffective after starting as a number 9. It was only when Fabian Hürzeler brought on Danny Welbeck and moved Rutter deeper in the 67th minute that the game changed. Brighton had created little until that point and looked aimless even after Chelsea were reduced to 10 men, Trevor Chalobah seeing red in the 53rd minute. But their threat grew when Welbeck came on to provide a focal point. The veteran missed one simple chance to equalize but kept his head up, and he was in the right place to score the leveler from Yankuba Mintea's cross in the 77th minute. The forward's experience remains vital. He scored his second deep into added time, sealing a 3-1 win for Brighton after Maxim de Kuiper had put them in front. Hürzeler will hope that Welbeck can push on after getting on the scoresheet for the first time this season. Jacob Steinberg. 6. Spurs attack looks frankly predictable. A second consecutive Premier League draw for Tottenham, and another rescue mission required. Thomas Frank has at least installed a determination that Spurs only displayed in the Europa League last season. Against Wolves, as at Brighton, Frank's side were dominant but did not create enough quality chances. Richarlison remains a handful for defenders but lacks consistent goal threat. The manager is keenly awaiting the return of Dominic Solanke for Randall Kolo Muani, laid up with a dead leg, to play more than his 13 minutes so far. Lucas Bergvall played closest to Richarlison over the course of the two draws and fluffed a number of chances. Mostly by dint of being anonymous off the left, there is a growing clamor for Xavi Simons to assume the playmaker role. Beyond the speed down the flanks of Mohamed Kudus and Destiny Udogi's overlapping surges, there is a predictability about Frank's new Tottenham. Wolves' Vitor Pereira had them worked out soon enough and his team almost took full advantage. JB. 7. Rodri unlikely to be risked on Monaco trip. While Manchester City remain an enigmatic blend of a soft centre and mean attacking edge led by Jeremy Doku, Phil Foden, and Erling Haaland, Pep Guardiola is fearful of further injury problems for Rodri. The Ballon d'Or winning midfielder did not feature in the win over Burnley, after reporting a lot of pain in the knee that suffered anterior cruciate ligament damage last season. Rodri said, "I'm not able to play. I have a lot of pain in my knee. I cannot play," said the City manager. "I don't know yet," was Guardiola's response when asked if Rodri would return for Wednesday's Champions League trip to Monaco, with a league visit to Brentford also due before the next international break. Janie Jackson. 8. Woltmade headed for cult hero status. Newcastle fans are going to have plenty of fun watching Nick Woltmade. His 6 feet 6 inches height was used to its fullest extent in nodding in his first half goal. Not bad for a player for whom the advanced notices were that heading is not actually his specialism. Against Arsenal, he showed off the requisite decent touches for a big man. Blushes were spared when a bad miss against the crossbar was followed by an offside flag, but Arsenal's defense, the best by reputation in the English game, were constantly troubled by his movement and hustle. Gabriel's attempt to claim a foul as Woltmade scored was an acknowledgement that the Brazilian had been beaten to the punch and thus needed to take preventive, and failed, measures. St. James Park has always warmed to its cult heroes, and Woltmade left the field to a standing ovation with 25 fateful minutes to play.
Alexander who?
JB. 9. Longstaff a crucial cog for Farke's Leeds. With a goal and an assist against Bournemouth, Sean Longstaff showed he is quickly becoming an important cog at Leeds after his summer move from Newcastle. It was not solely his work in the final third that made him one of the standout players. All over the pitch Longstaff made presence known. He is comfortable on the ball and also eager to put his foot in, and can physically dominate most opponents. Considering how important set pieces will be to Leeds this season, Longstaff's delivery will be imperative, and he showed his quality by finding Joe Rodon for the opener. The midfielder then showed precision and exceptional technique to thrash home.
Outstanding, man of the match performance, said Daniel Farke.
Scored a goal, was there with an assist. His workload, his composure on the ball, his tactical understanding, also body language and leadership, on the pitch, off the pitch, we are pretty blessed and happy that we have him.
High praise indeed. At £12 million, Longstaff could turn out to be a bargain. Will Onwin.
10. Sunderland looking up after flying start.
Can Sunderland buck the trend of promoted clubs going straight back down?
After 2 successive seasons where all 6 newbies slipped promptly back into the EFL, Sunderland and Leeds both look capable of beating the drop this term. The Black Cats have 11 points from 6 games following their 1-0 triumph at Nottingham Forest, the most a promoted team have managed at this stage since West Ham in 2012-13. The last 2 sides to start even better, Blackburn in 1992-93 and Forest themselves in 94-95, both with 14 points from 6 games, went on to achieve top 4 finishes. To be competitive we have to break something, otherwise the same trend will come. We will go game by game, doing our best, said Regis Lebris, whose only previous top-flight experience came in League One with Lorient. The Frenchman has not only had to contend with the shortest summer of the promoted trio to prepare for this new level, he has also had to pull together a team strategy after 17 sales and 15 arrivals, so their organization and effectiveness is all the more laudable.
Next up, Manchester United away on Saturday. Peter Lansley.